Okay, these are those big problems that take a little while to do, and we got to practice a couple of them. Remember, the first thing you want to do is figure out what quadrant your angle's in and draw a picture. Be very careful, Cameron, when you're drawing this picture. Draw the axes first, and remember you're going to draw your ray like it's a clock hand. It's got to come out from the origin. Okay, so if you're going to be in quadrant 3, then draw it coming out in quadrant 3. Okay? Now, from the end of it, go back to the x-axis, and then put your theta close to the origin. Here's theta. So that means for this particular triangle, here's your adjacent side, right there on the x-axis. Here's your opposite side, and here's your hypotenuse. Okay? So if we have that the cosine is -2/10, that means adjacent over hypotenuse. So that means -2/10. Now I just have to find that opposite side. Opposite is, well, the opposite side comes from using the Pythagorean theorem. So I'll do -2 squared plus, we don't know what that side is squared, equals 10 squared. So 4 plus, let's just call it x, equals 100. X squared is 96. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Oh, picked up my phone, sorry. Need a calculator. Actually, I don't need a calculator because I want to simplify it. So I've got to figure out the biggest perfect square that goes into 96. Let's see. I believe that's 16. I believe that's 16 times 6. So that's going to be 4√6. So that's what that side is going to be. So that tells me that some of these might get a little messy with radicals, but I just have to keep plugging. Okay, so cosine is the reciprocal of secant. So we already know if this is -2/10, that that's -10/2. And we can reduce it, it's fine. This could be -1/5 and this could be -5. You probably would not have one that needs to be reduced. Not at the beginning, okay, because that was our original problem. Then we've got the sine. Sine is going to be opposite over hypotenuse. So 4√6, and I'm sorry, that should be a negative because we're in the third quadrant, so sine and cosine are both negative, over 10. So this is -2√6/5 when we simplify. Okay, now cosecant goes with sine. That's going to be -10/-4√6. So I need to multiply both on top and on bottom by square root of 6. That gives me 10√6 over, right here this is -4 times square root of 6 times square root of 6 is just 6. So that's 4 times 6 is 24. Notice I went ahead and dropped the negatives because it was a negative on both top and bottom there. Which actually, no, it shouldn't have been. I'm not sure why it was a negative on both top and bottom. So it still needs a negative. So it had a negative on the bottom. It did not have a negative on the top. That's wrong. So pretend that's not there. So this gives me -5√6 all over 12. Remember that if the cosecant is negative, the sine's negative, and if the sine's negative, the cosecant's negative. Finally, tangent is going to be opposite over adjacent, and that will reduce nicely. And the cotangent is the reciprocal of that. We have to get that radical 6, we have to get that radical out of the denominator. So this is 2√6 over 4 times square root of 6 times square root of 6. Square root of 6 times square root of 6 is just 6. So 4 times 6 is 24. So we have square root of 6 all over 12. And that's it. Okay, I would probably go ahead and just simplify these. Notice I didn't circle them because I really wasn't comfortable leaving them there. But that's it for that one. So be careful drawing the picture. Draw your x-axis and your y-axis first, and then remember that your hypotenuse is going to come straight out from the origin. One end is going to be in the origin, and one end is going to be out in whatever quadrant that you're in. And your theta is your closest angle to the origin. Okay, so we have one more like this, so let's try the next one like this.